This video is sponsored by PotownStore.com, the best place to get yourself some TCGO code cards. Want to start playing competitively? It's very easy to do so with instant email delivery with the codes, and they have a huge variety of codes up on their website, reaching from league battle decks, specific promo codes, or even the latest booster packs in town. So definitely check out PotownStore.com, and you can use the coupon code ZapdosTCG for 5% off your next order. How wonderful is that? Also check out cardmarket.com. This is a European platform that I personally use every day. If you're a European player, you're obligated to check out the link in the description below. We're going to be able to check out Card Market, and you can buy cards and sell cards to people all across Europe, so definitely do so. You're going to be helping me out a ton. So definitely enjoy this video, and I'll see you guys soon. Peace! What's up YouTube, it's ZapdosTCG here, and welcome back to another TCG video on my channel. Today we're going to be talking about how I actually qualified for Players Cup number 3. That's right, I qualified for Players Cup number 3, and that's the third time in a row. We actually got Player Cup 1, Player Cup 2, and now it's going to be Player Cup 3. And I did very well in all of them, so let's hope the streak continues. And of course it's with Baby Blacephalon. Probably my favorite deck in existence right now because it's a one prize Pokemon, being able to uptrade very nicely against VMAX Pokemon as well as Tag Team GXs, which seems to be very prominent in the format still. Also, I'm going to be talking about the secrets of this deck. I'm going to be talking about all my matchups. We're going to be showcasing which decks are favorable matchups, which decks are unfavorable matchups, and all thanks to like the 50 keys that I actually spent to just qualify for this tournament. Some of you still need to qualify. Be sure to check out this list. This list is bonkers, and not a lot of people are playing Beastbringers in their Blacephalon list, but I think it's very strong nevertheless. So I'm going to be talking about the deck real quick, and then we're going to be going to some statistics, a pie chart, going to be talking about all the matchups, about the specific keys, and which actually got myself like 106 points of rep in total. So first of all, I'm a big fan of Blacephalon, as you may know, so I'm always playing 4 copies of that in this list. We've also seen like Crescephalon decks, or people call it Tempozard, where they actually resort around like 2 Reshizards, maybe a Heatran GX, and only 2 copies of Blacephalon. Not a big fan of that. I just want to go all blazing in with Fireball Circus, 50 damage for every fire energy we're willing to discard from the hand. And it's going to be very easy to just get your energies. We're running 16 energies, that's more than enough to get us through the games. And from calculations, this is like the average you need in order to just KO like regular Pokemon and then 2 VMAX Pokemon. So against stuff like Centiskorch, that's going to be very crucial indeed. Also, you have Cramorant to snipe off the Dennis in the late game, so that's also a very nice card. I've seen people running 2 copies of that, but I'm just a big fan of just running 1 copy because my main attacker is of course Blacephalon. And we are going to be resorting to, of course, the Welder supporter, and you're going to be easily finding that thanks to a bunch of Stellar Wishes. So you already know how Blacephalon works, but I'm playing 4 Scoop Up Net and only 3 switches. You might think, why did you cut down on the switch? Well, I actually want to implement the Beastbringer. I couldn't find the room for it, so Beastbringer is awesome. Very helpful against ADP for sure. Very helpful against Pikarom, Mew Mew, LucMetal, all those decks that revolve around tag teams. You just knock out the GX, take 4 prize cards, and then you only need to like knock out a Zacian or knock out something like the Danny GX on the bench thanks to Cramorant, and you're gonna be good. There's also one great catcher in here. This is very good against Mad Party. There's a lot of games where I just go with Reshizard, Welder onto the Reshizard, great catcher the Danny, and just boom, use the Double Blaze GX, and they will not return KO because we have too much HP. So the Reshizard is actually taking 3 prize cards, and that helps you out definitely in the late phases of the game where you only need to take 3 more prize cards. What else is in here? Of course, some draw engine cards. We have Crobat V with Dark Acid, the Danny GX, DD Change, and of course the Dance of the Tribute Oricorio. All of them very good to draw yourself cards. We have 4 Fire Crystals and an Energy Retrieval in addition to the 16 Fire Energy, so you'll never run out of Fire Energies and you just blow the opponent up. Because as mentioned, if you use Welder onto Blacephalon and just have like 7 energies in hand, you just slap 350, able to one-hit KO anything in the game. Do love the Mewtwo combination here. You can slap down Mind Report and you can put a supporter back on top. Let's say Boss Zord is in the discard pile, you can get it back, slapping down Mewtwo, and you can draw it out instantly with Oricorio GX. That's what I love here. Also a big fan of Marshadow with the Resetting Hole, and this is actually the deck that I use for all of my games, so very consistent indeed. We do have that extra Great Ball in here. Sometimes they stamp you to a low hand size, you know that your deck is very thin and there's still an Oricorio or maybe a Dedenne still left in the deck. You can find it with Great Ball, but also helps you out in the early phases if you want to find that Great Ball to find, of course, a Blacephalon to Welder onto. So this is the list. I'm very fond of it. I actually played all my games with this, and I got 106 rep points in total. So if you guys are interested to see the spec sheets, we're gonna be checking out how actually this translates into an Excel document. So hopefully you guys are ready for some statistics, because I definitely am. Okay, here we are. Excel actually played all of my games, so 50 keys in total, and as you can see, if we scroll down here, there's so many keys that have been used, and I actually had like a rough period somewhere in the middle. As you can see, there's like a lot of red. I think it was here, like I actually lost like 5 keys. Sometimes that happens because this is best of 1. In the qualification rounds, of course, when the top 256 players of each region, 128 in Australia, but the rest 256, yeah. Anyhow, so if we're playing that out, there actually is going to be a best of 3 format, and it's going to be double bracket elimination, which is way better, definitely for a Blacephalon deck, because I cannot stress you guys how much I got like dunked or like marnied or reset stamped and I lost the game. So that's like very crucial against, like, if you're wanting to beat Blacephalon, that's how you do it, like marnie and all that good stuff. So we're gonna be talking about, I actually got like 13 first place finishes, which is pretty damn nice. I was actually very proud because I was already acquiring myself 65 rep points. The rest came from second place finishes, 9 of those getting 3 points each, and then third to fourth place only 1 point each. And I actually got 14 rounds that I lost, actually 14 keys that I actually just threw away because I lost on the first round. It happens from time to time, but it is good as it is. So actually, let's see here, we come across stuff like New Lightning, ADP, Mad Party, Eternatus, and I'm actually going to be scrolling down a little bit if you guys want to like take a print screen of or something. These are actually all the keys that I have used. So as you can see, the number of the keys are written beside it, and the amount of points that I acquired. And you'll see here that I actually will showcase that which decks are favorable and which decks aren't favorable, but just in case, I'm just scrolling down so you guys know all the information that I actually have. So 106 rep points in total. That is definitely enough to qualify, even in like North America. It shouldn't be any trouble. So if you're still needing some inspiration to play a deck, play this Blound decks. So before we go over to the pie chart, yeah, let's just talk about the pie chart first. As you can see here, Eternatus VMAX was the most represented deck in my Player Cup 3 qualification round. So Eternatus popped up so much, and we're going to be talking about if it was favorable or not very shortly. Then ADP, the second most played deck, followed up by LucMetal, funny enough, because that is actually a hard tech against like ADP and Eternatus in the first place, so a little bit, it makes sense. And then we have, of course, Centiskorch being very popular, 11% that I came across, like 1 in 10 matches, it's Centiskorch for me. And Mad Party, and then Mew Lightning and Picarum actually slide them together, so that's like 9%. Like that's like Centiskorch, Picarum, LucMetal, ADP, Eternatus. Those are the most popular decks that you have to beat in order to just get yourself into like top 8s of your specific region. So other than that, some rogue decks, Agrau, you have Desi Goons, Stampuzard. Didn't see that too often. I think Centiskorch was the most represented fire deck in general. And now we're going to be talking about, like, I also saw some weird stuff like Morpeko VMAX and all that, but that's not representing the pie chart too much. What else can we see? This is very important data if you're a Blounds player and if you're testing out my specific list. As you can see here, Eternatus has become, for this deck, a favorable matchup. How cool is that? We faced off against 19 Eternatus VMAX decks. Either it was like the poison variant, the straight variant, it doesn't matter. We won against 14 of those and only lost 5. That means in a best of 3, you practically win the game. So the theory is here, you have so many energies to work around, like 16 and 4 fire crystals and energy retrieval, that you just blow up the first thing in the active position, blow up an Eternatus VMAX, and sometimes you can also blow up the first thing. If, like, let's say there's a Crobat in the active slot, you can also like slide in with a Reshazard. I know you're gonna give up 3 prize cards, but then all the energies go to the discard pile and you can blow up an Eternatus VMAX later. So it is very much interesting, because then you can finish the game with a Cramorant V Spit Shot on something like a Galarian Zigzagoon or Toxicroak or whatever they might have, swing around as a 1 prize Pokemon. So Eternatus VMAX was a favorable matchup for me. Next up is ADP, 11 games won, 5 lost. Still very favorable in my opinion. We have Beastbringer, we have the Reshizard, we have ways to deal with, of course, their nasty Alter Creation. You don't have to worry about it too much. The only thing you need to concern about is, like, after they used Alter Creation, you blow up the ADP either with Beastbringer or without. The games where you actually blow it up with Beastbringer is games where you automatically win. Just letting you guys know, if you use Alter Creation and they were not able to use Ultimate Ray and you are able to knock them out with Beastbringer, you automatically win the game because you can welder onto Reshizard to knock out Zacian, or you can welder onto Cramorant to knock out the Danny Jax if they have used the Danny Jax in the first place. Next is LucMetal. This is the best matchup you can imagine. This is actually, I actually lost against the LucMetal once in Player Cup number 2. I think it was in my winning brackets, somewhere along the lines. Other than that, I have never lost again because now we have the include of Reshizard, and that's so huge in that matchup for sure, because not only can they not one-hit KO a Reshizard, you also hit for weakness and you can double blaze on the first turn donking them, which is so awesome. If they don't have like their metal goggles, you're gonna be awesome for sure. So 13 games and 13 games won, so that's awesome. So LucMetal being in the format actually helped me require a lot of points for the qualification rounds. Next, Centiskorch. Completely even matchup. It all depends on how it goes, if they can reset stamp at the correct time, if they can lead with a Volcanion, being able to one-hit KO with Jirachi early on. There's a lot of factors coming into a match like that, but it's 50-50. It all comes down on if you draw properly, if you're able to hit the number of Centiskorch, 320 HP, so you need to discard 7 energies from a Blound. You cannot never whiff a Welder, otherwise they just run over you. They can also boss your Danny GX and Cramorant and all that, so be careful when you're benching 2-price Pokemon, and it takes some skill to just come over on top, but it's a 50-50 matchup. Next is Mad Party, an unfavorable matchup, but you can turn it into your favorable matchup if you are able to get the Beastbringer onto your Blacephalon and find yourself the Great Catcher. That is going to acquire you 3 prize cards. So every Mad Party plays the Danny on the first turn, so if you find Great Catcher early on and a Beastbringer, you can just use Great Catcher on the Danny and use Fireball Circus for 3 prize cards, and then in the late game you just end up with Reshizard, and that's gonna win you the game. So as a little bit of tips here. Mew, Lightning, and Pikarom, those are not good. I don't know why in the past it was like very good, but seeing here in Player Cup they are becoming unfavorable, and the reason for that is that they typically now attack with Mewtwo, which has more HP than a Pikarom. Not only that, they play a huge amount of Reset Stamp, they play Crushing Hammer. Sometimes that can be crucial if you don't have too many energies, you like attach of turn and that energy goes to the discard pile, so maybe I have to practice that matchup a little bit more, but that seems to be very difficult. They're playing 4 Marnies, they're playing 2 Reset Stamp. They are leading off with Bolton. I know you can go for Welder onto Reshizard and then double blaze the Bolton, but then they attack with Mewtwo and they probably land the Crushing Hammer or 1 or 2, and your Reshizard is not able to double blaze for 300 damage output, which gets me concerned because then they like paralyze you and stamp you, and I don't know. I didn't seem to have a lot of luck. It could also like be a very weird image of that, because it was best of 1, so maybe best of 3s in that will be better. We also have Great Catcher, we have Beastbringer, so sometimes you can actually get the upper hand, like you knock out a Pikarom if they start with it, which is awesome. So I don't know, have to practice that. Excadrill seems to be a little bit favorable because they also run on 2 prize Pokemon, which you can Great Catcher or Bossasaurus. We have Colossal VMAX, and also they are a stage 1, and you are just a basic, so you can Welder and knock them out before they evolve. Colossal VMAX is, I wouldn't say like a bad matchup. I think it's like 50-50, depends on how many Stone Fighting energies they have, how many Marnies they're running, how many Reset Stamps, and if they are going to have that big Colossal VMAX. At one point, you might run out of energies and they're like very quickly to just like Great Catcher the Dane, Bossasaurus your Crobat. So if you're running on too many 2-price Pokemon, it's gonna be very hard, but you need that because they Marnie you to a low hand size. So yeah, still need to practice that a little bit more. Blacephalons, of course, mirror match, and other than that, Decigoons has become favorable just because of Reshizard being able to double blaze through anything. You can of course use Cramorant and use the attack where you can scout out 2 cards from the deck. I suggest always going for Cramorant lead, getting yourself Boss's Orders in hand and a Mewtwo so you can abuse the Boss's Orders loop because they probably will have Mew on the bench somehow. If they don't, you can just use Welder onto your Cramorant and just knock out the Galarian Zigzagoons before they evolve. You don't have any problems, of course, against the Decidueyes himself because you have firepower, 4 Blounds to work with. And Teleon VMAX, even though it's like a water type deck, you just one-hit KO that instantly. Favorable. Tempuzard, you run more Blound than them, so you should have this in the back. And then Charizard Leon is a 1-price deck that's a little bit clunky, so yeah, that's it. Other than that, I'm not gonna talk about matches that are like insignificant, like Lapras, Cinderace, Greenzard, all those decks. You don't have to worry about them. You probably will not see them in the qualification rounds eventually. So yeah, that is what I experienced for Player Cup 3. If you're still playing your keys, I wish you the best of luck. Hopefully you get a lot of first place wins. And maybe I'll see you in the European qualification rounds. Top 256 players are going to battle it out very shortly. I'm going to live stream the event, so hopefully you will watch and yeah, be sure to support the Blounce because that's going to be awesome. As we can see here, in the pie chart, Blounce doesn't seem to be the most popular deck. Eternatus seems to be the most popular deck. And then ADP, LucMetal, and Centiskorch. So Pikarom has fallen off a little bit, but that's just my experience of playing like 50 keys in the the couple of weeks that I did. So hopefully you guys enjoyed this video, a full insight on Blounce on my Player Cup achievement. So if you enjoyed it, be sure to let me know by destroying that like button, as it helps out the channel more than you would possibly think. And be sure to thank my sponsors and go check them out. If you're looking for TCGO code cards, go check out potownstore.com and use the coupon code ZapdosTCG for 5% of your next order. Very nice to do so because you can get Eternatus codes, you can have the ADP League Battle deck, you can have LucMetal codes, Mew Mew codes, and there's so much more. Maybe the trainer toolkits to get yourself some Dedenne. You can get everything on Potown Store and start playing instantly. Also check out cardmarket.com, their European platform where you can buy and sell cards to people all across Europe. So definitely check that website out as well as if you are a European player. And I'll see you guys in tomorrow's video. Peace!